So Doz, it's a new week. The exciting news this week is the signing of Charlie Ruff.
Yeah, to be fair, it's something we didn't really sort of see coming. I spoke about Charlie after he played against us. We knew of him from when he was at Hornchurch. But I carried on watching Chelmsford, and it was really based upon the injury to Tommy Wright. We were hoping and sort of praying really that Tommy would come back sooner. That's the bad news of this, is that that's not the case at the moment, and I don't think we're going to see Tommy back till certainly well into the new year. So we felt it was important to go and bring that Tommy Wright type player in, and Charlie Ruff sort of fitted the bill really. So as I said, it wasn't something that we were looking at because we thought Wrighty would be back and be okay by now, but it's taken him a bit longer than we'd hoped.
So in terms of Charlie's attributes, what was it that stood out for him?
You know what, he reminds me a lot of Tommy Wright. Very clever player. I think that he makes very, very good late runs into the box that are hard to track. He's a clever player on the half turn as well. Busy little player. But also I think there's a lot for him to improve on. I think he can get a lot fitter. That's obvious from looking at him, as well today. But our sell to players like a Charlie Ruff is that if he does well, can he go higher? So I don't want to see this club necessarily as his ending point, but more as a starting point. And I think the key thing, as he mentioned in his interview, was that I think Chelmsford train 2 evenings a week, and it's quite late they're training. And one of the things I liked about talking with Charlie, was that he also works full time in the roofing industry as well with his stepdad. So he wants to carry that on. And I think players that want to work and train, to me that shows a really good work ethic. So yeah, Charlie's going to be in us, it's 2 and 3 mornings, dependent upon his workload, and obviously he'll carry on doing the roofing with his family as well.
And of course, you would have seen that his goal scoring this season and his team of the week and player of the month. It's not easy to do at this level, and especially making that jump up from last season.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a professional background because he started at Charlton. As a young kid, that's where his technique comes from, and I think maybe he got into a few bad habits being in non-league, and that's one of the things that we talked to him about today is improving diet and improving fitness. And I think Charlie has got a chance to go as far as he wants to go. But he'll have to change a few habits to get there, and that's really what we're offering him. Does he want to come in and in a morning environment and give himself the best possible chance to make the next move up?
So you started some training today. It's a new week, and before we go into the upcoming game, what was your reaction to the FA Trophy exit?
Disappointed in the context for the club, because obviously there was prize money available. If I'm being honest, from my point of view and Ian Baird's, when you reflect back on the Monday, not as disappointed, because I think the league is our number one priority. I think you saw Dartford get knocked out 4-0, Ebbsfleet lost 1-0, St Albans lost. So you tended to see the top 6 or 7 sides in the National League South. Maybe you took 10% away from your performance because you concentrated so much on what you're doing in the league. So yeah, listen, there's 28 games to go for us now this season, that's a fact. And we know if we have a good proportion of those 28 games, we're going to be in and around the playoffs, if not being around that first, second spot.
A fantastic league position, you're right. And up next is not an easy game against Tonbridge. Yeah,
very impressed with the new Tonbridge ownership. They've come in. They've turned it in straight away into a community football club. Really pleased, with the quality of their 3G as well. The fact that they're now getting crowds nearly of 1,000. Again, that's almost automatic. They've brought in all of their younger age groups, and it's a fantastic model, and it's one that Tonbridge are bought into, and it will honestly give them a huge amount of success on the back of it. So Jay Saunders, someone I know very, very well. It's a shame. I've got to say this. It's a shame that I'm not going to see Steve McKim, because I think Steve probably deserved the opportunity to carry on with a bigger budget and better facilities. But that's football. As I said, Jay's a good friend of ours within football anyway, and he's brought in some good players there, players that have played at a much higher level. But like the rest of us, he's struggled with his injuries. He's no different to us. I think as many as 6 or 7 injuries they've had this year, and it's really, really hard. You're bringing in loan players all the time, and that's not all. It doesn't always work. But even the one loan player I picked out was Santos. He looked a real quality player for them, and he's picked up a hamstring. So you've got to have luck in football. And I don't think Jay, to a certain extent, ourselves have had a lot of it this year. But like sometimes as managers, you just got to get on with it. But no, I like the way they play as well. I think they're playing some decent football, playing through the thirds. I think they got some quality in there that can play that way. So not expecting anything other than another tough away game.
And touching on injuries, I know we've been playing with 50% Jason Pryor here and there, Danny Wright. Saw Roon's back as well today, playing, getting involved in some of the games. So what is our sort of squad update?
Yeah, well, I mean, Rooney and Mags, they're at the position where they could probably come on and do 20 or 30 minutes. I think with regards to, to the others, they're still not quite there yet. It's been difficult because realistically you'd want all of the lads that have been out, we've had players out for 12 and 14 weeks, so ideally you'd like them to go and play games, but the problem we've got is to let people out to play games. We haven't got enough then left on the bench, so it's a very, very difficult scenario to manage at the moment. Obviously we're working the ones that need minutes even harder in training, but it doesn't make it match fit. So we need to look at this over the next week or two to see, if we do let one or two go out to get some games and how we do that.
And no midweek this week, so is it just business as usual, those 3 days? Yeah,
we needed a break, if I'm being honest. It's been a real intense schedule, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday, and it's something that, eventually it catches up with you. We've been playing with the same 12, 13 players for about 8 weeks now, and whilst Welling with a better side on Saturday, it was the first real sign of tiredness that I'd seen from that particular group. Again, I don't think intensity was there because maybe it wasn't a league game, but Welling were right at it Saturday, and I just felt we were maybe 10% away from our level, and you can't be at that percentage down against a side like Welling. So I actually thought we did well to get back in the game. 2-0 down, they could have folded. We didn't do that. We got back to 2 each. Fantastic strike from Maloney to hit the bar. Obviously Stefan, who I thought was excellent on the day, has put in a good finish. So as I said, they were deserved winners on the day, but now's the chance for us to have, I think, 2 or 3 weeks where we can actually have a free week, actually get people off the treatment table, give the lads that have played every minute a bit more resting time, and like I said, we're I think we're in a good place now because that gives us week to week for a few weeks anyway, until I think the Dartford game on,
yeah, you're right,
I think
14th.
That's in the 14th of December, is it? So yeah, 3 weeks now to sort of just catch our breath and keep going.
Lovely. Cheers, Dos.
Cheers, mate.